Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing? So I saw this pop up today. I thought it was a really interesting question. Why are fewer young people joining the British Army? I feel like I read that and I was like, okay, I could see that. I could see that. I feel like this generation of young people aren't as I mean, I don't know if patriotic's the right word, because obviously there's a lot more to joining the army or any kind of military than just, oh, I'm patriotic, so I'm going to join the military. But there's less, I feel like there's less nationalism in general. Like, I feel that over here in America. In fact, now I'm curious what the stats are for Americans joining the army. I mean, here's just an article from last year. Is military enlistment down? Military enlistment has declined in recent decades. The Department of Defense says it faces unprecedented recruiting challenges. Oh, it looks like a big part of it is 77% of young adults in the U.S. are unqualified to serve. 77% are unqualified for whatever reason. Wow. So I wonder if that's a big reason why. Apparently it is over here. Total number of active duty service members in the U.S. Armed Forces declined 6% from 2012 to 2022. Holy crap. That's a pretty big decline. When we're talking about a military that big, millions of people, down 6%. Like, I thought it would have gone up. The population of the United States has gone up. The military population, down. So, similar kind of thing happening over here in America. Be curious to hear why the British are joining the military less. You know, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Hey, join the military. Put your life on the line. And go fight a war that at any moment's notice we may start, and you're just going to have to go fight it. You know, and that goes for any country. Joining the military in general. It's like, ooh, okay. You know, can be a tough sell. I do have a respect for people who do put their life on the line. I will say that. Shout out to any service members out there. You know, I'm not disrespecting anybody. It's just like, wow, that takes a huge commitment. Let's see.
The British Armed...
Actually, let me say, you know, go check out TRT World. It's a small and up-and-coming YouTube channel with only 7.5 subscribers. Come on. They're a tiny channel, guys. Only 7.55 subscribers. Link down below.
Forces are facing a massive recruitment crisis. In 2010, the army was 100,000 strong. Now it's just
100,000. That's tiny.
76,000 and could...
Oh my God.
It's 100,000 strong. Now it's just 76,000 and...
Okay, I thought 6% was huge. That's like 25%.
Could even go down to 52,000 within 10 years. So why...
I guess robots are just going to have to fight the wars.
Why is the army attracting fewer young people? Let's ask people on London streets if they would join the army.
I wouldn't go to a foreign country to kill anyone else. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover.
Don't really want to. If I can do it in COD, I'll just stay there.
Then one of the reasons...
If I can do it in... You know, I've got war at home. I don't need to join the army. It's a lot of work. I've got war at home. I can do it in COD. What? That's the funniest answer.
So I'm a lover.
Don't really want to. If I can do it in COD, I'll just stay there.
Then one of the reasons I did join up is because if there was ever going to be a war, I'd rather be trained already for it.
You know, and I do not mean this insulting toward younger people. Because, I mean, I would say it's the same with my generation. I'm a little bit older now. But I feel like people in general, younger people in general, don't mature as quickly as they did back in the day. back in the day when everybody was raised on a farm and you were working on the farm at 12 years old, and by the time you were 18, you were a little bit hardened, a little bit more, and so I feel like that's an aspect to it. I mean, I feel like maybe that's an aspect to it.
Personally, the thought of having to go and kill anyone just doesn't sit right with me. I think, people in this country who actually have opportunities here, I know things aren't great, but we're not so desperate that we need to do that.
Well, you see,
That's a really great point. The more a country advances and society in general around the world advances, it's like you have more to live for at home. You know what I mean? Because certainly in some countries, for sure in some countries where they're extremely war-torn, it's like, I am joining the military or a militia. I'm going to go fight because my family's life, this ain't it. And I'm going to go fight for a better life, or, at least in theory, like that's the idea. And, whether it's America or Britain, I could see that being another factor in declining military.
I'm in the Royal Engineers. If I was to say to anyone, why would you join the forces? It is to kind of cultivate that, I guess, camaraderie. That's a big one. There's something about camping out for a few days in a forest, doing training.
The military has even...
I'm not going to lie, I do think that's an amazing... I think camaraderie, as humans, that's just something that is so desired. So I could see that. That's a major factor on the other side for why people might join the military. It's just, a place to fit in and have that camaraderie. That is a massive thing, not to be understated.
lowered standards to get youth to enlist. The Royal Navy removed the 30-minute swim test as a requirement for entry, though they would still need to learn to swim to pass the training. Some experts say this signals a sign of true desperation. Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister, even...
That is a little disturbing, huh? And they've done similar stuff over here in America. It's like, wow. Lowering the standards. Okay, all right.
vowed to bring back compulsory national service to drive up recruitment. Earlier this year, the former UK Army Chief Patrick Sanders said the Army needs to hit 120,000 to be ready to fight Russia. Experts have listed a couple of reasons.
I mean, it's not like you'd be fighting them alone. I'm pretty sure if y'all went over there to fight Russia, we'd have your back. I'm just saying. I can't imagine a scenario where, it wouldn't be all of NATO.
120,000 to be ready to fight Russia. Experts have listed a couple of reasons as to why young people are reluctant to enlist. Unjust Western wars post 9/11 in Iraq and Afghanistan played a key role in declining enthusiasm. The story of weapons of
Yes, of course, yes.
mass destruction in Iraq was exposed as a lie.
What a huge blow to morale, to the because immediately following 9/11, I guarantee there was a huge boost, a boom in military enlistment. Like, we have to go fight, especially over here in America, but then when it all went the way it did, oh my God, what a PR nightmare for recruiting to the military.
Many young people fear a repeat situation in future wars and have lost trust in the establishment. A January 2024 YouGov survey found that a third of 18 to 40-year-olds would refuse to serve in the army even if the UK entered a world war or was under threat of invasion. The most common
Well, it's only a third, so 2/3 still says they would.
reason people gave was that they do
Imagine the UK being invaded. But it's not even fathomable right now, but That would be crazy.
Not want to die for the rich and powerful who often escape the consequences of conflict themselves. Do not want to be manipulated to sacrifice their lives for politicians' lives.
You know, back in the day, a lot of politicians used to be, they were service members. Especially, a lot of U.S. presidents come to mind. It's like a lot of the most iconic U.S. presidents were big in the military before being president. You're going to be commander-in-chief. It's like, to me, that just makes a lot of sense that you're not as motivated to fight under the commander-in-chief's orders if he never even fought himself. It makes sense to me.
And with the military being one of the poorest paid public sector jobs, this makes it even more off-putting.
Yeah,
Wages
no kidding.
have not kept up with the cost of living. The lack of compensation makes such sacrifice even less likely. Social commentators also say Britain, like other Western democratic countries, has changed from a communal to a deeply individualistic society. Being part of the army entails being part of a machine in which an individual is anonymous and expendable.
Indeed, that's the flip side of the camaraderie.
As a result, older generations, often conservative military veterans and politicians, are frustrated with Gen Z's apparent lack of patriotic spirit and motivation. They tout national service and/or conscription of a citizen army as a way to fight crime and even the threat of Russia. The army has even created
Snowflakes. Ugh. These ads suck, I'm not gonna lie. Are you kidding me? You're gonna make fun of the people you're trying to recruit? I think that's swing and a miss, in my opinion.
adverts to appeal
Me, millennials. Why don't you stop being me, and come fight in the army? I don't think that's it.
to millennial and Gen Z snowflakes, but to little avail. Army recruitment has also been outsourced to Capita, a third-party company. Often these private firms are more profit rather than outcome-orientated.
Hold on, how do they make profit? You're telling me the government pays this company every time they recruit somebody? Something seems odd there.
Many youth also drop out because of how long it can take to process applications, from 12 to 18 months. So is the army on its way out?
Is the army on its way out? I don't think so. They're going to have to pay them more and give them more incentives. You know, a huge incentive over here in America is you get free college. Maybe throw in some free health care. Might increase enrollment. That's a fascinating subject, in my opinion. And that was a really great video. Go check them out, link down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.